Growing up, I always wanted to live near a body of water. And if you do too, you can live in this private community, Weatherby Lake, in Kansas City, close to everything. And if you stick around, we're at this incredible home in Weatherby Lake that's listed for under $1 million, and we're gonna check it out at the very end of this video. Now, not every single house in Weatherby Lake has an incredible view of the lake. In fact, this house is a few streets away from the lake. In fact, I don't even know if you can see the lake. If you turn around right over there, you can see the lake right through those trees. Of course, you can see it better in the drone shot, but that's really not much of a view. But this house being a little bit farther away is a little bit cheaper, but you're getting the same friendly community of Weatherby Lake. You're close to all the parks that we're gonna see later. And then you're also getting a pretty nice house too. So let's come on inside and you can check it out. Immediately as you come inside, not only are you in this great community, but you have a very functional layout. You come inside to this large open space with a living room flowing straight into the kitchen, into the dining room area. And I'll give you a sneak preview. That one house where we started at in Weatherby Lake, that actually has quite a small backyard. This house actually has a more functional backyard than that last one. So let's go outside and take a look, because not every backyard, Weatherby Lake is kind of a hillier community. Not every backyard is this flat and this useful. As we come outside, this lot is pretty great. You can see they've got their swing set there where their kids used to play. It's completely gated off. It's a quiet, really peaceful community here, and you're gonna get a lot of events, a lot of family-friendly events that do center around the lake, but also there's a little bit of something for everyone. Let's go back and check out the kitchen. As we end up inside the kitchen, you've got beautiful granite countertops. I really like this tiled black backsplash, and then these gold accents in the cabinet doors make it seem just a little bit more classy. You do have a dining area that is right here. They've got the round table here, but either a round or rectangular table would fit just fine. And then if you come through here, you can also see a very, very large pantry space right through here. Right off of this door, which is the garage, you have a pretty incredible mudroom / laundry room. So this is an area where you can store your dirty clothes as well as wash your dirty clothes on the main level too. So that's definitely a plus. Let's go downstairs and you're gonna see this is one of the best basements that you could put a home theater in. Let's go right now. Now today is a pretty significantly hot day in Kansas City, and for those of you who are watching and you don't know, once you come down into a basement area, it is so much cooler. I mean, it's gonna touch 90 degrees today, and you can definitely feel it upstairs and outside, and we will definitely feel it on the second floor, but down here, it is nice and cool. This space is best utilized for an incredible home theater. You could put a huge screen here, you could put plenty of seating here, and then you could watch any movie that you want in the cool of your basement. Also on this side, you have basically a full, almost a full kitchen. Butcher block countertops, the same nice gold accented pieces on their cabinetry, a really large sink, and a fridge. The only thing that's missing here is a cooktop, and you could easily plug one in if you wanted one, but this is kind of more of a wet bar situation. Put your beverages in here. You can see, crack open a cold one right here. This is a great space, especially if you're entertaining. Great place to watch the game, great place to watch a movie, and there's more in the basement that we're gonna see here. So let's step on this side, and we're gonna see a very large storage area, also with your utilities as well. Now these utilities, as you're looking at them, they're probably the same age as the house. They probably haven't been updated, and so they probably have a little bit more life left. I mean, you can hear the AC kicking on and it cooling the house down, but this storage area is pretty nice, especially if you don't want clutter. You can see all the way down. They have all of these shelves. They'll probably end up taking them after the house sells, but if they don't, then they'll leave them here for you to utilize. Let's come over on this side and we're gonna see a basement bedroom, which is the coolest place in the house to sleep. Cool as in it's separated from everybody else, but also cool as in temperature-wise. This bedroom is not the biggest, fit a full-size bed. Easily queen-size bed, might be a little bit tight. Definitely not a king-size bed, especially with this extremely large closet. You can see how big this closet is. If you had a king-size bed, it would eat up the whole space. And this closet is very, very large for a basement bedroom. What's also nice about this is you have a full ensuite bathroom with a nice shower insert as well. So if you had guests, this is a great place to put them. If you have that one, weird teenage kid, this is a great place to put him or her. Kind of keep them down here. They have all the stuff that they could possibly need. But From here, let's go all the way upstairs and check out the bedrooms. Now, before we go upstairs, we have another room on the main level to show you. First, you've got a bedroom. This is actually right over the basement bedroom. And this is a great size bedroom, probably a little bit bigger than the one in the basement. Queen size bed could comfortably fit in here, and you have a walk-in closet. The last thing on the main level is a full-size bathroom. It's a full bath with tub shower combo and toilet. So let's go upstairs and see what there is to see up there. Right off of the first landing, you have the first of 3 bedrooms upstairs. This bedroom is probably best for a kid's bedroom. Again, about the same size as the bedroom downstairs. Plenty of room for bunk beds. I mean, the ceiling fan might be a little bit low for bunk beds, but it faces the front of the house. You can see your beautiful paved driveway from here. You've also got a walk-in closet and a Jack and Jill bathroom. So coming through to this Jack and Jill bathroom, we do see some where the sinks are separated into different areas, but this one is all together. And so you have your shower, and then you have your toilet. And immediately comes into this bedroom, which I think is a little bit cooler because you've got this little reading nook. Perfect place to put a beanbag chair, put your books up there, and just enjoy a good read. This room also has a pretty cool closet. You can see it's much bigger than the other closets. It truly is a walk-in, and you've got a pretty cool roof line to make it just that little bit more character. Now let's go to the primary suite. The primary suite is the biggest room in the whole house. I want you to notice the accent lights in the tiered ceiling. It just gives it that ambiance that, especially when it's dark, is going to be just a little bit more noticeable. And then it's connected to a really nice in-suite bathroom. This tiled shower has a double shower, so you can both shower at the same time, or if you're just in a big hurry, stand in the middle, get sprayed by both jets, whatever it is you want to do. I really like the window kind of accents as well. And then you've also got double sinks. Nice height too. A lot of these houses that we see, the sinks are like down here and you kind of have to bend over, but these are just a little bit higher. And then of course, you've got your toilet and then a large walk-in closet. Just leave the lights on, we'll start getting them. Now you might wonder how much this house is on the market for. Right now, it's listed for just under $740,000, $739 to be precise. Now we are going to head to other parts of Weatherby Lake. If you stay tuned, we're gonna end up at that first house that we started at, and we're also gonna show you the cheapest listing in the Weatherby Lake community right now. We are kind of at the tip of Weatherby Lake, the pavilion, and behind me you can see there's a bunch of boats, a bunch of marinas. Now one of the things that you're going to want to know if you buy a home in Weatherby Lake is what conveys with the home. Any docks, any boat parking spaces as it were, anything like that. You also got a nice little play area behind me, and you got a swim beach too. So this is all accessible to the Weatherby Lake community. You can come down here, you can park, you can just have a blast. They have a ton of events. It's a very tight-knit community, and it's a very sought-after community to get into. Let's go all the way down to the end, and let's check out the lake for all its glory. So we're at the very tip of Weatherby Lake. This is an awesome place because you can see, I mean, there's a literal like castle right over my left-hand shoulder. That must be multiple millions of dollars. It's not on the market right now, or else you can bet that we would have tried to get you in there to see it. But you can see this is the boat dock, so you can bring your boat all the way down here, launch it from this water. The water itself, it's got some green stuff in it, but overall, past that, it's pretty clear. We saw some people swimming down there. I mean, it's just a really nice day to live on a lake community right now because, I mean, it's hot. It's like 85 degrees. Water looks pretty appealing. You can go for a swim, you can fish, you can boat. There's tons of fun stuff to do. So you can imagine that if you got a home here in Weatherby Lake and you could enjoy all of these incredible amenities. I mean, you just look down there, that's the swim dock, that's the swim beach, the play area. All of this is included in your Weatherby Lake HOA dues. So really hard to beat for the value. You're also in the Northland. You're also in great school system, Park Hill. You are also, what, 15, 20 minutes away from downtown, and you're on this private, incredible lake. So I would say one of the coolest places to live in the Northland, in all of Kansas City. Again, if you want to live here, 816-4MOVE-KC is our number. We can help get you a home in Weatherby Lake. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and one of the things that we would do when it got too hot in LA, or if we wanted to just head to the mountains, was we would go to a place called Lake Arrowhead. It's a pretty famous lake, about an hour and a half away from where we lived in Los Angeles. And I do remember that a lot of the streets in the Lake Arrowhead community was kind of like this. Of course, different trees, different flora and fauna because it's a different region, but it was kind of windy, kind of curvy lake community, and Weatherby Lake is going to be just like that. You can see down here, there's a lot of curves, a lot of winds that you're gonna drive up here. And I think one of the critiques about living here is that if you wanna get to this location, for example, you do have to take some pretty windy roads in order to get all the way here. Now, you can also see behind me, they're doing a brand new construction. This one has a lake view. It actually looks pretty incredible. And of course, later in this video, we're gonna show you more of the lake itself. But this house is actually the cheapest listing in the Weatherby Lake community right now. It is on the market for, well, I'm not gonna tell you what it's on the market for because you have to keep on watching, but it is completely renovated from top to bottom, and it actually is really, really sharp inside. Typically, I don't love flips for my clients because you never know what they're masking in a flip, but this one is actually done very, very well. So let's step inside and let's take a look at what they did to this beautiful house on Weatherby Lake. Once you come inside, I think the layout of this house is actually pretty great. You've got this living area that flows into the kitchen, and then it flows into this dining room that has a great view of the lake and the lake community. So if you're eating dinner here, you could glance right outside past that $1.5 million house and see Weatherby Lake. I think that's a great advantage of having this location. Yes, you're not lakefront and you're paying less because you're not lakefront. But again, this is the cheapest house in the Weatherby Lake community right now. They can get cheaper than this though. So it just really depends. That's why you gotta give us a call, 816-4MOVE-KC, if you wanna move to Weatherby Lake or the surrounding communities or anywhere in the Kansas City Metro. Us and our team, we're the ones that help you. Come in here, you can see brand new kitchen. Beautiful quartz countertops, quartz here, brand new cabinets. You've got your fridge on that side, obviously. You've got your gas stove, dishwasher, everything you could possibly need, and a pretty good size for this type of layout of a house. This kind of raised ranch houses, sometimes they can get kind of cramped, but this one's not that way. Now come over here, and this is a kind of unique thing that I think is not too bad, but you may decide differently. Right off the main living area is the primary suite. And when you step into the primary suite, you can see it's expansive and just really well done. It's beautifully decorated. It's great. New windows, which is not something that you see on a flip very often. And then you have that same great view of the lake. You imagine just like waking up to this, opening the window, the lake is right there. Pretty cool. And then also you have, and this is kind of rare in this too, ample closet space in the primary suite. And then a really nice in-suite bathroom that you don't have to leave to take a shower, use the restroom, or any of that. And it's all brand new. Before we go into any of the other bedrooms, I want to show you the backyard because like the house that we started at today, this actually has a pretty impressive backyard as well. So you come on here, you have these Trex decks, really nice boards, all brand new. This is great. And then you could see if you pan over there, that's a lot of room for your kids to run, your kids to play, just a lot of outside space to be spending. You've got a nice shed, and you could see from this vantage point, they didn't neglect the shed. This is really nice. It probably matched the house when it was originally, before it got flipped, but now of course it's a different color. But hey, that's a minor thing. The wood still looks great on it. And then you've got another pad here for another shed, and then more area over here. So this lot, actually pretty incredible for Weatherby Lake. Let's go back inside. Now, as we come through here, what you can see is this is the basement area. We're gonna go down there in just a little bit. And I did see one thing that if you're gonna buy this house, you're gonna wanna know about the basement. It's not evidently obvious because it's such a nice flip, but there's one pretty big flaw in the basement that you're gonna wanna see. So stick around for that. But you have a hallway bathroom, kind of mirrors the aesthetic of the primary bathroom, which is really nice. And then you have 3 bedrooms on this side, which again, this is kind of rare for a ranch that's this size. This is a queen size bed, fits very nicely in this room. You got a great view of your backyard. This is all brand new flooring, brand new everything. 2 more bedrooms on this level. It does have this extra cutout, so if you did want to put a queen size bed, probably this would be a great place for my boys to have their bunk beds. And then you know what? When you're on the primary suite, all the way on the other side of the room, if they're causing shenanigans and not sleeping, you're not gonna hear them because all these walls are in the way, so you can have your peaceful night's sleep. Your boys can get really tired staying up all night talking about Pokemon, and you won't know anything. Come across on the other side, you've got some more storage, linens closet here, and then this is by far the smallest room. This would be great for an office. This is awesome for a nursery if you don't need a ton of space in here. I think a queen size bed might be a little bit too big for this room, but let's head downstairs to the basement. One thing that's kind of scary about these stairs is that they actually are very, very steep. And so if you're not careful and it's the middle of the night or you have to do something down here, you could very easily slip. So it's very steep. And then on this side, you have a non-conforming bedroom. Now you say, why is this non-conforming? The reason this is non-conforming is because there is actually no egress. This is too high to be considered an egress. A little bit too high. I think it's like 34 or 44 inches. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do know this is too high. Even though, like you said, you could put a bed down here and you could use it to sleep, no problem. On the other side here, this passes all the way through to the garage, which we're gonna see in a little bit. And here's what I wanted to show you. So on one side, you have a closet. You can put your clothes in there. No light, unfortunately. But on the other side, what's really interesting is that they left this open. So you could use this as a closet, but what I want to point out to you is a few things. Let's move this little light here. The first thing I want to point out to you is, of course you got your electrical panel down here, but this is waterproofing. They put a vapor barrier in order for water to not penetrate into the foundation. And these are vertical I-beams that these are installed to prevent the foundation from further bowing in this way. If you're not from Kansas City or if you're not from the Midwest, you may be very foreign to these types of repairs, but these types of repairs are common in the Missouri and the Kansas area, specifically in the Kansas City metro and the surrounding areas, because our soil is clay and it shifts as it gets wet and dry, and wet and dry, it contracts and it contracts and expands and pushes against these walls, causing a tremendous amount of pressure. And then so these are here in order to preserve the integrity of this wall. Now, does this mean that this house is gonna fall over, this wall is gonna collapse, I'm gonna die? No, not necessarily. It's your comfortability as a buyer, whether or not you wanna take a house with these types of problems. I have plenty of buyers who say, hey, no problem, this is standard for the area. They take it, and I have plenty of buyers that say, I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. You and I have to talk when you decide to buy a house to see whether or not this is something that you would be comfortable taking. 816-4-MOVE-KC, we can talk you through all of these issues, how much these things might cost, and whether or not you should consider a house with foundation repairs. Now, moving across, you're gonna wanna watch your head if you're taller than me, 6'1", I'm about 6'1", and then you're definitely gonna wanna watch your head, because if you don't, look, you can kind of walk and not pay attention, and boom, you're gonna smack your head right against this. Same thing over here, if you're not walking and paying attention, boom, you're smacking your head against this, right? So again, these stairs are a little bit precarious, but this room is sort of an extended mudroom. It's a pretty interesting finish they have here. It's not a classic mudroom. It's just, this whole thing is a mudroom slash laundry room. If you come over here, you can see on this side, you've got your flue, you've got your electrical, you got everything hooked up there. And then again, what's a little bit strange is that they have a full bathroom, but that's kind of like an industrial sink looking over there. But that's cool. And then on this side, you've got a 2-car garage, which is actually, in terms of the floor and everything, it looks to be in pretty good shape. And remember what I said, you have a pass through from here all the way to the other side? Come follow me. See, here's the thing I'm talking about. When you're here, you don't see any of those repairs in the foundation, but on this side, you don't see any of these repairs as well. So this wall looks about as good as a foundation wall can look, but on that side, they've obviously done some repairs. Now, you might be asking, how much is the cheapest house listed for on Weatherby Lake in the Weatherby Lake community? This house is on the market right now for $533,000. If you want it, give us a call, 816-4-MOVE-KC. Now, let's head it back to the first house that we first started at, because that house has really cool views of the entire lake. Let's go back. So we're headed back to that first house, and I just kind of want to show you what I mean when I say that it's very much driving in a lake community. It's very much like a windy road. So I'm going to go very slow here and kind of show you a little bit of the road conditions and what you might be dealing with if you decided to live in Weatherby Lake, because you're gonna want to know this. I mean, it's beautiful today. It's a little bit hot, but it's beautiful today. But if you are going to drive this in the winter, you're definitely gonna want to know. So I'm gonna turn you around and you can see, yes, that's a new construction house there. And just a bunch of curves, just really windy, narrow roads here in Weatherby Lake. Great area to live. People love it. But you can see that sometimes, depending on the neighborhood and depending on the neighborhood conditions, this can be kind of precarious in the winter. Right behind me is the Weatherby Lake Community Center. You get to be a part of this area. You pay into the HOA, obviously, and you get the amenities that come with this here. You can see down there, there's a full-size basketball court, 2 full-size tennis courts. Of course, you can play pickleball. There's more tennis courts up there. If you look up there, there's your water tower. It's kind of cool looking. I've seen that before. You got this kind of dirty pond over here. I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm sure it connects to the lake somehow. But this is part of the amenities that you get being a part of Weatherby Lake. Later in the video, we are going to see the rest of the lake and get a better vantage point of the lake, as well as tour some more cool. We started this video right up at that balcony and we saw all of Weatherby Lake. It's a small community, but now we're here at this gorgeous home. You can see the presence, the curb appeal of this awesome home in Weatherby Lake. And the first thing I want to point out to you is this driveway. You've seen kind of the windy roads in Weatherby Lake. I kind of told you it's a lake community. It's a little bit hard to navigate and get around, but once you get here, what I like about this is that you could park endless cars here. And also, you may not have a huge backyard, but you do have a huge flat concrete space for your kids to ride their bikes. I can imagine that my kids would love just using this kind of small slope right down and ride their bikes down here. This would be a great place for them to play outside. If you wanted to put up a basketball hoop, this would be the place to do it. You could erect a basketball hoop over there, and then you could seriously have just kind of a half court kind of scenario right in front, and this would be a great place to do it. So let's go inside and we're going to check out this house. It is on the market right now and it is absolutely beautiful. So this house has 4 really good sized bedrooms, and as we come inside, you can see it's been maintained really well and there's a ton of room. You come inside and immediately you have a formal dining area. I love formal dining areas. Plenty of places to put, I love formal dining areas because our family loves to get together for dinner, and this is a great place to do it. As we move in here, the floor-to-ceiling windows are great. Whether you're enjoying a game or just kind of want to get some sun without being outside, this is a great place to do it. It just gives this room so much presence, especially the curve of the windows. You could see your backyard, you could see your back deck. This is great. Moving in here, you've got kind of the hearth side room / kitchen combo. Electric starter, or actually just is a gas fireplace with an electric starter. You just flip a switch and it turns on. Built-in shelves are really great. I've been thinking about putting some bookshelves like this in my house simply because we have so many books and we don't have any places to put them, and just having some nice bookshelves would alleviate a lot of that pressure. But built-ins are always really nice, and you can see continuing on with the floor-to-ceiling windows that just give you an expansive view of the whole place. Now I will say, I never want to sugarcoat things. Well, as great as the front of this property is, the backyard is not that much room. So let's go see it right now. And that's just the nature of living in this lakeside community, is some people don't have that big of a backyard, and you wouldn't either. So you'll have this smaller space. It's a little bit more sloped than I know my kids would like. They would like a bit flatter space where they could run, but with the privacy that you have, just being completely surrounded by these trees, I think that you can give up some of the space in order to have that privacy. And again, if you're not in the same season of life as I am with 3 young kids, then maybe this is actually a good thing that you don't have to maintain a lot. I was talking to one of my clients who was moving to Kansas City to retire to be near her kids, and she was like, look, something like this is plenty for me. I don't want to have to mow. I don't want to have to weed eat. I want to keep it really small. So again, it really is all suited to what you need, and you're gonna have to give us a call, 816-4MOVE-KC, whether you want huge backyard with acreage or whether you want something smaller just like this. We can tailor make your search for you, 816-4MOVE-KC. You can also see too, got a great deck though. Even though you don't have that big of a backyard, you do have a fantastic deck. You could put plenty of deck furniture out here, plenty of places to just sit and relax, and then the privacy, the view is unparalleled. Just knowing too, on the other side is Weatherby Lake, and we've seen all the amenities that it has to offer already. Let's go back inside. As we come back in, you've got a fantastic kitchen space, of course painted white to match the rest of the interior, with some granite countertops, your dishwasher, your 60/40 sink. You've got a nice fridge that does convey with the property, as well as a great oven too. One cool thing about this kitchen that you may not expect is you can say, hey, there's not enough pantry space, but guess what? There's a kind of hidden pantry. The only thing that really gives it away is this door handle, but you know, if I lived here, what I would do is I might put this door handle, I might come up with a solution where you could truly hide this door handle, because if you do, then you have this whole hidden pantry that perfectly matches the outside, and plenty of storage space, place to put your microwave, more counter space in case you needed to cook, more cabinets, more shelving, all of this in this tucked away pantry. On this side, if you don't want a view of your backyard and you do want a view of Weatherby Lake, this is a deck that I started the video on, and you can easily open this door and put a table right here, and you can have two formal dining room areas, one overlooking the beautiful view of Weatherby Lake. Right off the eat-in kitchen, you have this built-in desk. I think these desks are not necessarily for serious work. If I had to work here and do like my YouTube and my real estate work here, this is too small. But if I only had to do a couple bills, just put a laptop here maybe, this would actually be just the right size. And I like the fact that it's completely connected to the rest of the house. You're not necessarily tucked in a place where you're isolated from the rest of your family. That's one thing about me. I have 3 young kids and they do consistently interrupt me with my work, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I want them to be able to come in, to be able to run into my office and to talk to me and to ask me about, you know, which favorite Pokemon they're thinking about that week. I like that. And so I like the flow of this room you have in the office right there. And then in the middle of everything, you have your half bathroom, just a simple toilet and sink. Now off of the main level, which is something that's really nice, is you do have full laundry as well. So your laundry is done right here. I mean, peek in there, you can see, of course, this house is a little bit outdated, but you've got that wallpaper that probably needs to come off sooner rather than later, but I'm sure it's still perfectly functional. Now moving back, we're gonna go across the hall into the primary suite. This primary suite on the main level is always a nice touch, especially as you get a little bit older. Even if you're not a little bit older, I really kind of do wish that my primary was on my main level so I don't have to climb those stairs, because I'm getting lazier. Even if you're not getting older, sometimes you get lazier as you age. And in this primary, you have plenty of room for queen bed, king bed, whatever it is you truly want. And the nice thing about this one too is a complete pass-through of this fireplace. So this fireplace will essentially function to heat and cool everything all the way through to your primary bathroom, which I'm in right now. So this primary bathroom is a great feature too. You have plenty of counter space for both him and her, and then you've got more storage space at the end. And then you've got this tub, which is a huge tub, one of the biggest that we've seen on this channel, to be honest with you. And it's not jetted. And you know, if you watch this channel, I don't like jetted tubs. I think they're just a problem waiting to happen. So this being not jetted is actually a big plus. If you follow me through here, you've got a nicely tiled shower, as well as quite a large closet. I've always thought that this was funny to have windows in closets, especially, you know, you're changing out here. I guess you could, you know, look out the window when you're putting on shoes or whatever, but I always thought that was kind of a weird design choice. Now, this isn't the only closet in the primary bedroom. There's actually another one. Follow me. Now, before you leave the primary, you've got another closet that is quite cavernous and completely walk-in as well. Pretty deep, plenty of room for all of your clothes and everything that you could possibly need. So downstairs, you have a really, truly great place to watch movies for theaters. This is completely finished. You've got built-in speakers, although here's the problem with built-in stuff. When you, come over here, I'll show you a little bit. When you initially install this stuff, it looks great. I'm sure the sensory experience is great. And this is for you people who are homeowners and thinking about, okay, what's it gonna look like when I sell my home in X amount of years? You're gonna put a lot of money into a speaker system or something like this, and then in the end, when you go to sell it, is this truly gonna add value? I mean, look at these cords, these aux cords. Everybody does stuff through wireless Bluetooth. I'm sure some people still use these things, but you're just gonna wanna think about that when you do upgrades into homes. How are things going to age? How are things gonna get dated? That's not to say to not install things like this that you enjoy during the time being, but I have plenty of sellers talk to me about, hey, we've installed this thing in the 90s and it's still worth value today. Actually, I would argue it might actually take away value because somebody will have to take that stuff out because they won't use it anymore. But if you want personalized home selling experience, also give us a call, 816-4-MOVE-KC. We've heard from plenty of you who want us to list your home and sell it on the Kansas City market. And if we do, we'll feature it on this channel. Come through here. It's a huge space, like I said before. You've got a full, it's a half bathroom with a kind of panic room. And I'll show you what I mean here. It's a panic room slash tornado shelter, and you've got your half bathroom here. And then this room is completely encapsulated with concrete. It's a tornado shelter that's rated to be able to withstand even the worst tornadoes. I know plenty of you call me and say, hey, I'm moving from California. I don't know what it's gonna be like with the tornadoes. We've got you covered. There's stuff like this in Kansas City to keep you safe. Now coming on this side, you've got a kitchen, place for a fridge. You can make this into a good, nice kind of half kitchen as it were, with a fridge and a wet bar and a sink. And then coming all the way around, it does circle. Like I said, this place is pretty cavernous. So we're gonna circle all the way through to the garage. And if you peek into the garage, you're gonna see it is huge. A lot of times we don't show garages in our home tours. Only reason being is because they're cluttered and full of stuff at times, but this one is clean, ready to go, 3-car garage, and absolutely massive. Let's head all the way upstairs and see the upstairs level. On the top landing, you have 3 more bedrooms. This is the perfect place for your kids to go or guests to go. The first bedroom is large and arguably has the best view of Weatherby Lake. If I was a kid in this room, I would choose, in this house, I would choose this room because you've got a great view of the lake and all the activities happening. You can see down there too, that house is being completely renovated. There are homes in Weatherby Lake, and just because of the area and the value for the area, because we're in the Park Hill School District, these lots have a ton of value, which is why you'll be surprised at how much this house is going for. Let's go into this Jack and Jill bathroom. On this side, you've got your walk-in closet, which is quite large. Again, you have a nice view of the lake. Of course, you've got your sink, and then through here is the shared bathroom. You've got your toilet and then your shower. And then we're back into the other room where there's another sink so that you don't have to fight with your siblings over which sink you use. Now this room is the darkest, kind of the smallest of the upstairs rooms. However, still very usable and still very nice. You can see you've got a closet that is pretty much walk-in size. Come with me to the other side and you're gonna see the third bedroom. But before we get there, take a note of this built in too. You've got the nice mirror accent in the middle and these shelves. You can put your nice trinkets, your Funko Pop collection. I don't know what you collect. You know, do whatever you want with that area. It's pretty cool. And then on this side, a large room, probably just a little bit smaller than the first bedroom, but plenty of space for you to do whatever you need. And then through here, you do have a full bathroom that you do not have to share with any siblings, so making it one of the more valuable rooms. Now, I don't want you to miss the closet in this one, but immediately when you walk inside, and the only reason I'm walking inside is because I can point up and I can show you, look, you've got this completely open and the attic is right here. Tall roof line, but then when you're looking at a house, you do want to be able to peek at those types of things to see if there's any issues going on. So that's something that, again, we can help you with if you decide to let us help you buy a home here in Kansas City. Now, I am standing in here in this hot closet and I'll tell you how much this home has cost. I'm standing here in this closet. It's hot because the attic is open and it's getting hot in here, okay? This home is on the market for $810,000. Now comment below, is that a good value? Is that a bad value from where you're from? In Weatherby Lake, you know, Park Hill School District, one of the best. Private lake, fishing, boating. Let me know what you think. And if you don't like Weatherby Lake and you want something more urban, click right here.